Balls. No, 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 no. Seagulls. We're about 20 miles from the sea. Hello everybody and welcome to this, well, another Welsh lake that I don't really know the name of. And yes, you guessed right, I walked to the top of that massive hill, started to absolutely chuck it down. I didn't have a coat, so I went back and sat in my car. Then it stopped raining and I walked back up. So yeah, a bit tired and not in the best mood, to be honest. Shut up! Anyway, as I say, I'm at another Welsh lake, and so far in my time up here, which is totaled about half an hour, I've been taking some photos, mostly of logs, a lot of logs. But I thought that this would be a good time to talk about something that's quite close to my heart, which is the process of buying a new camera. Something that theoretically I feel like I should enjoy. To be honest, I dread the process. I hate it. The reason I hate it, as I'm sure you all have experienced if you bought cameras yourself, is that when you buy a camera, you basically buy a compromise. There's no such thing as the perfect camera, and the process gets a little bit laborious, tedious, expensive, frustrating, time-consuming. I don't particularly like it, but I thought I'd talk a little bit about how I come to make a decision on what camera I buy, in case that's useful to anyone. If you ever need photos of logs, this place is, well, it's like Disneyland. It's too windy here. This has been a disaster. Cut my losses and back to the car, I think. One day I'll finish a video where I started it, but it's not going to be this video. Anyway, how to pick the perfect camera. I'm going to start talking about price. And there are a couple of points I want to make about price, and the first is called the point of diminishing returns. So this is a little point and shoot Canon camera. It takes very good photos. It's unbelievable really when you consider the size of it. And this is, well, it's the old model now, but currently I think it retails for about £250, so I don't know, $300, 300 euros, something like that. This is a semi-professional, professional, I don't know what you'd call it, Nikon D750, and it's got a 24-70 big heavy lens on it. This setup retails for about £2,000, maybe a bit more. So it's maybe 7 or 8 times more expensive than this. So the question has to be, does this take photos that are 7 or 8 times better than this? Well, the answer is no. No, it doesn't. Which means, of course, that this, pound for pound, is better than this. And that dovetails quite nicely into my next point, which is that where I think a lot of people go wrong, and where I've gone wrong in the past when trying to choose a camera and trying to choose how much to spend on a camera, is that I've had a camera budget, which on the surface doesn't sound like a stupid thing to do. I think in order to find the right camera, you should replace your camera budget with a photography budget. And that's because a camera is just one small part of getting towards taking better photos. So if you're looking at cameras and systems capable of interchangeable lenses, lenses are a brilliant investment, at least comparative to cameras, because the technology shifts in lenses is really, really slow compared to the technology shifts in cameras, which means that lenses will last you 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times longer than the camera you're looking to buy will. And so spending good money on lenses is really, really important, and it's overlooked because people want to put all their money into cameras typically. The same goes for other stuff. Accessories and education, so learning how to use your camera is a really good investment both in time and money, because that'll definitely give you better photos. And even things like trips and holidays are worth considering within the same budget, because ultimately they're going to be responsible for good photos and memories too. And what else are you buying a camera for? So next up, size. Believe it or not, something like this, which probably weighs the best part of 2 kilos, is a bit annoying to have around your neck all day, really. There's a good chance if you buy something like this, then there will come a time where you decide not to take it on a walk or to a restaurant or to the beach. What that means is that you don't take any camera. So this might be able to take amazing photos, but it can't really do it if it's left at home when you're out and about at the places you want to take photos. It's fairly obvious, but the number of times I ditch this to just take a point and shoot out and about with me because I can just stick it in my pocket, well, it's a lot. And it does make you think that sometimes the better option is to have something more practical than something that can just out and out take the best photos. So yeah, that's worth thinking about. I did try and demonstrate that at that lake, but yeah, I don't think I was really all that clear. What else? Oh, video. A lot of cameras now are built maybe primarily for stills, but also come with brilliant video capabilities. If you are thinking of dabbling in video, there's some stuff I think you should look out for. One would be a swivel screen, really helps this sort of thing. One would be a mic socket, so you can stick an external mic in. Half decent autofocus would be pretty handy. And some kind of stabilization so you don't get really jerky shots. A lot of people are banging on an awful lot about 4K. Call me old-fashioned, I'm still not that bothered about 4K. Nobody really has got 4K monitors and TVs yet, or at least not that many people. And I think, to be honest, if you notice that a video is not 4K, I don't think it could be that interesting a video, really. Like, if you're looking at the resolution, you're going, ooh, that's a bit, then you're obviously not particularly gripped by the content. You know, I don't watch like Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels and think, wish that was in 4K.
What are you doing? I am trying to find out where they keep their money.
Conversely, if I'm watching any Adam Sandler movie and it's not in 16K, well then yeah, I'll kick off. The other notable thing to think about is what you're going to be taking pictures of. So for example, if you're buying a camera to take photos of your kids playing sports and stuff, then you're probably going to want a long lens. I mean, I'm not talking about like based on actual length. Yeah, I probably didn't need to clarify that. I think you probably knew that. For sports as well, you also want a camera with a high frame rate, so a camera that takes maybe 7, 8 or more frames per second. That way you can always be sure you're going to get a shot of the exact point in the action that you want. You also want a camera with good noise performance, and that's because a lot of the time you're going to want really, really fast shutter speeds to be able to freeze the action. And when the light's not good, you need to be able to raise the ISO without suffering too much noise. Also, as a side note, if you're going to be shooting a lot of sports, get a really quick SD card, which will enable the writing of the files much quicker, so you can start taking photos again. And as well as a high frame rate, you want to make sure the camera's got a fairly decent buffer, meaning it can take photos for a few seconds at a time without slowing down, because it can't write the pictures to the cards fast enough. And yeah, speed's what you need to focus on for sport. If you think you're going to be taking lots of photos at night, then ISO performance is really important for you. You might also want to look for a camera with a hot shoe, so you've got some off-camera flash options. And the same goes for product photography, so you might want to use flash when you're taking photos of products. ISO performance isn't as important for product photography because typically the products stay still, and when that's the case, you don't need to raise the ISO because you can have a very long shutter speed. Portraits, well, the first thing I'd suggest is spending a little bit less on a camera and a little bit more on a lens. So get yourself something like an 85mm equivalent, a nice fast bright lens, and you'll be able to throw the backgrounds out of focus and really make your subject stand out. Wonderful. For landscapes, you might want high resolution camera, so you might want to look for a camera with say 16, 20 megapixels upwards. And the other important thing for landscapes will be dynamic range. You want to look for a camera with really, really good dynamic range. If you're going to be taking photos in the city or in the streets, then you might want a camera with an electronic shutter, which typically is much, much quieter, enabling you to be a bit more discreet. You'll be surprised as well how much more discreet you feel with a much smaller camera too. So small camera, electronic shutter, or at least a camera with a quiet mode. You know, if you're going to get up in someone's face and be like, then they're going to notice. And the very last thing I'll say is that camera manufacturers are bringing out cameras at a stupid rate. Sony, for example, just keeps releasing cameras what feels like every month. And yeah, generally speaking, their new ones have more bells and whistles than the previous generation, but typically you take one of their older cameras and a new one, and you take some photos on those cameras and you compare those photos, you're not going to see a whole lot of difference. And therefore, if you're willing to forego some of those new bells and whistles, you can save yourself a ridiculous amount of money by not getting the newest models. And I think that's it. If you've got any other tips to help people who are going through the horrific process of trying to buy a new camera, leave a comment and let me and other people know, because yeah, it can be a really, really horrible process. But I hope what I've said and what other people have said, hopefully below, helps. And until the next time, thanks for watching.